No matter how hard Yuji tried to wash them clean, his hands still felt stained with blood. Ever since the Shibuya incident, he had thrown himself into hunting curses without pause. Day after day, he wandered through the ruined city, eating whatever he could, while chasing down one curse after another. It didn't matter how exhausted he was. It didn't matter how injured. If he stopped moving, the memories came flooding back. Nanami's final stand, Nobara collapsing, the countless civilians slaughtered while Sukuna wore his face. So he kept running. In one brutal encounter, a massive curse overwhelmed him with sheer cursed energy. Yuji didn't even look panicked. He was casually chewing on chocolate while keeping just ahead of the monster. But eventually, it caught him. The curse grabbed him, leaving him battered against the rubble. It moved in to finish him off. And suddenly, it dropped dead. A single clean slash had ended it. Standing there with a katana in hand was Yuta Okatsu, the special grade sorcerer, the one officially ordered by the higher-ups to execute Sukuna's vessel. Let's rewind a few days. At the Zenin clan estate, tensions were high. With Naobito Zenin dead after Shibuya, the question of succession had to be settled immediately. Naoya Zenin arrived late to the meeting, completely indifferent to his father's death. In his mind, the position of clan head was already his. His older brothers were useless. His uncles, Ogi and Jinichi, were nothing but obstacles in his path. When the will was read aloud, it confirmed part of his expectations. Naoya would become the 27th head of the Zenin clan. He would inherit the clan's massive wealth and cursed tools, including those held within Jujutsu High's vaults. But there was a catch. He would only be allowed to manage those assets with the approval of either Ogi or Jinichi. Naoya's expression twisted with rage. Then came the final clause. If Satoru Gojo were to die or lose his ability to act freely, a vow made with Toji Fushiguro would be carried out. Megumi Fushiguro would be welcomed into the Zenin clan as its new head, and all assets would transfer to him instead, overriding Naoya entirely. Naoya was furious. He stormed out immediately and demanded to know Megumi's whereabouts. Upon learning that Megumi was in Tokyo searching for Yuji Itadori, Sukuna's vessel, Naoya formed a plan on the spot. If Megumi and Yuji both died there, it would solve everything. Meanwhile, Yuji sat alone in the ruins of the city, replaying Shibuya in his mind. The destruction, the screams, the moment Sukuna took control and carved the city apart. The guilt crushed him. Choso approached quietly and asked about his injuries. Yuji brushed it off. Choso suggested returning to Jujutsu High. Yuji refused immediately. Yuji didn't know how to respond, but in the end, he accepted Choso's presence. The two began hunting curses together. On a bridge, Yuji clapped loudly, intentionally drawing curses toward him. Grotesque figures crawled out from the water and nearby structures, surging toward him in waves. Yuji sprinted off, deliberately leading a growing horde behind him. The animation of the chase was relentless. Yuji moved like a blur, leaping into the air to crush one curse with a brutal kick, then being snatched mid-fall by another. It dragged him toward the city streets, but he blasted it apart before it could react and hit the ground running. He dashed straight into a tunnel. The curses followed without hesitation. Inside, Choso was already waiting. The moment Yuji gave the signal, Choso unleashed a devastating blood technique that tore through the entire swarm, obliterating them in a single precise attack. Just as Choso let his guard down, another powerful curse lunged at him from behind. But Yuji dropped in instantly, smashing it with a single punch. Choso was genuinely impressed. Yuji's cursed energy control had sharpened. His agility, his timing, his raw power, all of it had grown. Even after everything, Yuji was evolving. But then, the atmosphere shifted. A new presence entered the scene. Naoya Zenin. He scanned the area, disappointed that Megumi wasn't there. Then his eyes settled on Yuji. "Didn't you get the memo?" He sneered. "Gojo's gone. Your protection is gone too. You've been sentenced to death." He admitted he didn't care about Yuji personally. He was here for Megumi, but he couldn't exactly ignore Sukuna's vessel either. Without warning, Naoya vanished and reappeared behind Yuji, smashing him. Choso rushed in to help, but Naoya toyed with him effortlessly, striking him repeatedly while casually fixing his hair. The disrespect was infuriating. Yuji rejoined the fight, and together they managed to create some distance. He's using some kind of speed-based technique. Even so, fighting Naoya alone would be dangerous. And then, then, all three of them felt it. An immense, suffocating presence descended on the battlefield. For a brief moment, Yuji wondered if Gojo had returned, but it wasn't him. Standing atop a nearby building was Yuta Okatsu, special grade, executioner. He leapt down, cracking the ground beneath his feet, katana drawn. The pressure radiating from him was overwhelming. Naoya quickly declared himself an ally, explaining that he also had orders to eliminate Yuji. He offered to handle Choso while Yuta focused on Itadori. Choso immediately told Yuji to run. Don't fight him. He's basically Gojo. If you face him, you'll die. Yuji hesitated, but the tension in the air told him Choso was right. He ran. Yuta pursued effortlessly. Even while carrying a sword, Yuta kept pace with terrifying ease. They clashed. Yuta's sword carved through the air in precise, lethal arcs. Yuji dodged desperately, each swing feeling like a guaranteed kill. Yuta admitted calmly that he possessed more cursed energy than even Gojo, but unlike Gojo, he could actually run out. The Six Eyes made Gojo's energy consumption nearly zero. Even so, Yuta's cursed energy overflowed constantly, spilling from his body and weapon without restraint. Yuji remembered Todo's lesson: the stronger the sorcerer, the harder it is to read the flow of their cursed energy. But with Yuta, it wasn't about reading him. Every attack was a kill shot. Yuji grabbed a knife from inside a nearby car, recalling Gojo's words that weapons were for emergencies. He channeled cursed energy into it and attempted to parry Yuta's blade. Yuta immediately saw through it. You're too focused on the sword. He drove a kick into Yuji's stomach, shattering the knife. For counter, Yuji kicked Yuta's katana and snapped the blade in half. Yuji thought he had an opening. He rushed forward, and then Rika appeared. The monstrous spirit materialized behind him, her overwhelming strength locking his body in place. Yuji struggled with everything he had, but it was useless. He couldn't move. Yuta approached slowly. Hold him there, Rika. He couldn't break free. With a quiet, almost regretful expression, Yuta raised the broken blade. I'm sorry, Itadori. And in one decisive motion, he drove it straight through Yuji's heart.